welcome to another tutorial with me. My name is Crafty JoJo and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. And tonight I want to show you how I assembled this box. The tutorial and the PDF files with the template are available in my Etsy shop. And it's a PDF file that contains 3 parts. 2 parts are the templates that you would need to print out, and the third part is the detailed step-by-step description, in addition to this video tutorial where I'm going to show you what you're going to do with your downloaded templates, because it needs apparently some explanation. So this is the box we're going to do, and it's a really elegant box that contains 2 trays, ready to take jewelry or treats like pralines or whatever. And I've created this little closure, which apparently you don't need to do as well, because it's just a button with a bit of thread that's been wrapped around it. But I'm going to show you and go ahead with it, and hopefully this inspires you to create your very own version of this box. So here we go. Let me just put this away. This is actually the template that you will download. And you would need to print it out on a piece of cardstock that you cut out and use as your final template, because apparently paper, when you print it out on paper, the paper is too thin, and in order to put all the score lines in, you would need some help with that as well. So I recommend to print this out on maybe the Whisper White extra thick cardstock, because that's quite sturdy and allows to trace around it, because this is what you need. So it consists of these 2 parts, and in order to put these rounded score lines in, I've given you another template. You just need to cut this bit and then use this as your template to put the score lines in. I'm going to show you how you're going to do it. So this is your download, and you cut it out, and I've already done it and traced it. So this is what your cardstock looks like once you've traced the outlines. Now the next thing before you're going to cut out is you would need to put in your score lines with the help of a ruler and a scoring tool. So when you trace your template, it is very important, because the template comes with tiny little arrows, as you can see here. Mark them as I did here when you trace around it, because that is telling you the exact position where your ruler needs to connect the lines. So it is important that you not just trace around it, but also mark where the corners are, so that you can do it as precisely as possible. So we're going ahead, and I'm going to do this together with you. So apparently I've put my marks in here and here, so these 2 corners need to be connected, and I'm just going to use my stylus here, and I'm just going to put in my score line. Oh. So there's a score line here, as the template says. Apparently the stitched lines are the score lines and the straight lines are the cutting lines. So before we're going to cut, we're going to put in the score lines. So you can just keep your template in front of you, and then the next line we are going to put together is this one. It's a score line. And it's important that you try to be really precise. And then this and this. And then this point and this point goes together like so. And then we've got a score line here on part A, that is the main part, the bigger part. This score line is actually from the very top of this corner here to the top of that one. So you have to be really checking out your template, and that's why it is so important that you mark it where the score line is going. So this is apparently going from here to here. So I have to place my ruler like so and connect it, because if this score line is in the wrong place, your box won't close properly, and that's not what you want. So this corner goes with this corner, and this corner of the flap goes with this. That's precisely where it was. And apparently we would also need to put the half round score lines in here, but I haven't cut this bit yet, so I'm going to cut this and then I'm going to use it. Just bear with me a second, I'm going to show you how to do this. So I have cut this out, and apparently this is exactly the shape that we would need. And if you place this, now you can't really see it well, you know, I'm going to tell you how I did it, because I actually used a plate when I created the pattern, and this shows it better. So what you need to do is you need to place your plate or your template. I should have done it in a different color, green on green. You can't see what I'm doing, that's not really very good. So for a tutorial it's not working. So I'm just going back in with my plate, and the plate has the right curvature, the right diameter, so this comes in like so, and then I'm just going to turn it around and do the same again. I literally push my plate or my template forward until the corners are covered, and I'm just going to trace around it. There you go. And these are the score lines in place and ready. Oh no, I forgot this one, sorry. There's also this one here. See, you before you start cutting, double check, because it's easier to put your score lines in whilst everything is still in one piece, because once it's cut it's smaller and easily slips while you're trying to score, so better leave it in one piece. So I've put in this score line, these ones, them two bottom ones and the diagonal one, and my rounded ones. And if you print your template out, maybe print this in a different color, the second page in a different color, because apparently it's very difficult to see green on green here. So but it's just I traced the plate and used it. Okay, so this is my first part, and the second part is this one here, and we're going to do exactly the same here. We are going to put in our score lines, and we have to be precise, because if we go back to our printout, as you can see, this part is going to get the plate, and then this one, and then here again, important that you really stay in the right angles, like you really have to mark your corners. So that's also why I'm advising you to put your score lines in before you cut it out, because apparently once you've cut it out your marks are gone. So don't do it, just mark it, and then after you've finished marking you can cut. And here we go, this is going in here, so, and this again is from top to top. Make sure that you check on your template if you're unsure where the line goes. I now know by heart because I've been doing a couple of these till I finally got everything right, so I don't need to check, but you better check, because it's so annoying if it goes wrong and you have to waste your cardstock. All right, and this one again is a matter of bringing in your plate. Here's my mark, there's my mark, so I'm going to push my plate and I'm going to trace around it. There you go. I'm going to turn this round and I'm going to push it up and mark it. And at this point all my score lines are in place. Haven't I forgotten anyone? No. This, everything is in place. So at this point I'm going to cut all this out and I'll come back to you. I'll do this off camera because it's just a waste of time. You don't need to see me cutting. Do not fold any score line yet. First of all, now cut everything out. All right, I see you in a minute. Okay, so I'm back and this is what I cut out, and I want to alert you to an important fact, and that is, if you compare these two bits, you can see that here there is a tiny little cut inwards and then it goes downwards. This is not a mistake. This is not symmetrical to this one. This one is no cut inwards, it's just straight, whilst here it's like a tiny wee bit cutting inwards. So please trace the template as precisely as possible and follow the cutting lines, because if you think that this is an error and or you think this is an error because this little corner is missing there, it's not missing here, it's not needed here, that's why it's not there. Pardon me, my phone goes off. So this is what you've got, and of course you could erase all the trace lines, but I'm just going to spare that job, and I'm just going to fold and bend my score lines inwards so the outside is nice and clean. And oh, again, just a minute. All right, sorry for that. So you're just going to fold the score lines in. This little diagonal one is going upwards, so you need to fold this one up. This one is going downwards. And if you bend these, be careful. But they more or less fall in place automatically. So this is the first part. And this is the second part. So I'm going to turn the nice side outside. Just going to, this goes up, this goes down, this goes down. And then you carefully bend your faceted parts here, like so. And this is beautiful. Okay, so now that we've done all this, we need to glue the parts together. And if you have a look, you have at your template, you have part A. So this is part A. And this little flap here is going to adhere to this side of part B. So these are the two sides that we're going to adhere together, all right? So adhere here, part B, adhere, join together here, part A. So these two bits go together, very important. Keep checking on your template, because if you glue it together in the wrong way around, you have to start all over again. So these are the bits that go together, and I am going to use Tombow for it. And I'm just going to get my Tombow out, and I'm going to adhere, add glue here quite a bit, because I want this to be really nice and proper fitting. So here we go, Tombow on my finger, and then I bring this bit in. When you bring it in, make sure you got the right side and everything. I've done that wrong before, and I'll just literally close the box like so. Can you see what I'm doing? Okay, so this is what we've got so far. I'm going to bring my bone folder in, give it a good rub. So my markings are inside. I'm not going to erase them for this tutorial, but of course, like the first box I did in black, there was no need to do that anyway. So we're almost there, because this is the second flap that you would need to close, and you can already close that box. It's a bit fiddly when it's not yet in place. This is a bit tight, all right. You want it actually a tight fit, so don't worry if it does what it does here now. That's exactly what you want, because yeah, you see how the lid fits perfectly. And this is the side flap that needs to be closed. And as for the bottom, oh, wait a minute. Sorry for that, telephone. Okay, so we are going to close the box now. That means we're going to add some glue here. And glue it together like so. Ooh, not like so. Don't do that. Just smudged it all over the bloody place. Sorry for swearing, but this is so annoying, because there's a reason if I don't pick the telephone. It means I'm busy, for example, with filming tutorials. just saying. Okay, so this is what we've got. We are going to close the box again, so the lid comes down to here and goes in here. Fiddly fiddly when it's all loose. Okay. So now, as for the bottom, you have got two parts that look like so, and you've got two parts that look like so, and apparently these connect together, and then this is going to be glued down. So what you're going to do is very simple. You fold these flaps in. This is going to be glued on here, so all you do is add some glue here and pop this down here. Keep this up, and you do the same on this side. Okay, so when you open your box, you can actually give it a good rub down. Try to square your box up the right way, how you want it. Glue these flaps down. Okay, that's number one, and that is number two. Turn it upside down again. I mean, not upside down, the right way up. Open your box, rub it. Make sure that you don't shift it so it loses its square shape. And then last bit, if you like, you can add a bit of glue there as well and glue those ones down. And that's it. And then rub it so it sticks. This is not of, it doesn't need to be the most beautiful bottom of the box, because apparently, if you remember, I put some of my mirror cardstock in there as a bottom anyway, because when you take out the trays, you want it to look pretty. So let me just square this box up, close the box, and this all looks fine. Still kept its shape, and basically the box is assembled now. Oops, I just did this. So if we open this box, wait a minute, I've just pushed this. All right, this is just wrapped around loosely. It comes off just like that. If we open this box, you see that there are trays in with a little kind of lid, and the trays have little handles. So we are still going to do two of these trays, but I wanted to show you the bottom of the box. You see, this is what I did. I just put the cardstock in, and I have glued it in place. I thought I haven't even glued it in place. It's glued in place, so this is what we're going to do. But I think because my box is green, I'm going wild, and I'm going to use this. You don't need to see me cutting these, so I'm going to get this ready, and then I'm going to show you how we are going to put these bits in. All right? Bear with me for a minute. So here I am. So this is the bottom of my box, and it measures 3 1/4 squared, so 3 1/4 of an inch by 3 1/4 of an inch. And I'm just going to quickly glue this in to the bottom of my card, and I'm not going to use much glue, just a few bits. And I just set this aside to basically dry. Now what we need to construct is these strips here, and you would need to cut a piece of your designer paper or mirror cardstock that is 3/3 of an inch wide, and for better vision I'm going to put it this way around, and you're going to use your template. Where is it? Where did I put my template? I don't even, here it is. So you can use this. This works well here now, because I don't need to bring in the plate, because now we have a contrast. So all you do is you just use this to create your little bits. and you do this twice. Can you see? So we're going to do 2 of this. And the angle doesn't matter because it is a part of a circle, so it always has the right bend for perfect fit. So this is how you do it. And I'm going to cut these out by hand. And when I cut these out, I try to cut inside the lines, because it doesn't matter if it is slightly smaller, it actually gets a better fit. So I'm literally cutting away my trace lines. Just coming from the other side in. Number 1 and number 2. And before I'm going to glue it in place, I'm going to do a little shaping on it. And as you can see, oops, this corner here is not nice. If this happens and you can't correct it, you've got enough cardstock left, just do another one. But it's okay. So because this white border will be seen, so I'm now looking for, where are my greens? Here. Emerald Envy will be the, or maybe the Tranquil Tide. I'm just going to try it out. Bear with me. What I do is I just edge, because I don't want this white edge to be seen. So all I do is I dab it on. Yes, Tranquil Tide does the job, or Emerald Envy. So I'm just going to dab it on quickly. Oops, my fingers as well dabbed on. Just taking out the white. Can you see what I'm doing? Okay. Now that looks much better, because when you glue it in place and the white edge blinks through, I personally don't think it's really pretty. And now we are ready to give this a bit of a shape, because apparently this is bent. So what I'm going to do is I'm using my bone folder and just slightly bend it. Make sure you bend it the right way around. And then I'm going to try the shoe on before I glue it in place. And this is a very nice fit, as you can see. So all I do is get my wet glue out, my Tombow. Make sure you really put it right to the edge, so that you don't have any bits, especially these corners. You don't want them to stick up. So, and as you don't want it to ooze out, you need to kind of scratch it on your cardstock so that it will go on nicely. And now just whoop, pop it in place like so. And I love it. That looks awesome, doesn't it? And we're going to do the same here. I've pushed this in a bit too far. I'll correct that in a minute. And this is also a perfect fit. Here, as you can see, there's a little bit of tiny little bit of pressure there. So I'm going to do this freehand and wedge it slightly and see if this comes to a better fit. And it actually does come to a better fit, but this side fits better than this. So I apparently could, oh yeah, see, you see I have cut here and the line is still visible, so I probably should have cut it. I'm still, oh, am I going to do this with these scissors? No, I'm going to use these. Going to cut it. Bye bye. Now let's see how the fit is now. And that has done the trick. Perfect fit. All right, This is ready to be glued in place as well. Oh, actually, I'll leave it close to glue it in place. And there you go. So this is how I do it. All right. Yep. And then we aim to pop it on. Oh, I got a green nail. Oh, now my fingers are smudged. How bad is that? All right, here we go. Glue it in place. You can still move it around a bit. And that's perfect. Look at this. Perfect fit. Great. All right, so I actually embossed this golden mirror cardstock because it didn't have this pattern, but I think there's no need to emboss this. So all I'm going to do is I'm just going to get my pansy punch out, because that's the flower that I've used, and I'm just going to punch it out. Yeah, there's enough structure on this. So where did I glue it? Just right in the middle. So all you need to do is glue this in place. Let me see if you get your button out. Oops. This is how it went on. There we go. I haven't pulled it tight. So this is basically the outside of the box assembled and finished. What's left to do are these two trays, and the measurements are in the template for this, and all I did was I just scored it as in the PDF file, and then assembled my box. What next thing I did was I used my ribbon, folded in a loop, and used my stapler, and so you can see it presses through here. I stapled it, so from outside to the inside I stapled it this way, and then I just used a little tiny circle that I punched out with my, I think it was the 1 inch, yes, the 1 inch circle, but you can also use a smaller one. Anything that is small enough. You don't need a circle. You can also cut out a square if you haven't got these punches, and just cover up so that you don't see the staple. And so I've created 2 of these trays. They are exactly the same size, very simple. I stapled these ribbons to the sides and covered it up with a matching cardstock, and then I cut these 2 bits of mirror cardstock, and let me just, I don't know by heart the measurement here. This measures 5/16 of an inch. I actually did it in centimeters, that's why it is actually wide, 8.5 centimeters by 8.5 centimeters, but in inches this is 3/5/16. It needs to be exactly this size, otherwise it falls through. Like this, it is slightly bigger than your box, but small enough to still fit inside the box. So that's all you need to do, and that's your box finished. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Sorry for the messy workspace here, and please don't forget to subscribe. The button is in the right corner here, and I'm looking forward to your comments and how you get on. Let me know how you get on. As you can see, it's quite simple. Remember, as I said before, when you print out your templates, and you trace it, make sure you put in place your markings where the lines actually join, so that you try to work as precise as possible. This little corner here is there on purpose. It's not missing, it's not a mistake, and it's not here, but there's a corner here. So please make sure you follow the lines exactly. They are 100% and they fit and they create this box. And I hope it was clear how I came to create these. You just cut your strip and then use your template, trace it, and it doesn't matter if you place it like this, or because you know the curvature is always the same, so it really doesn't matter. You know, you can it will always, once you have cut it out, it will always fit perfectly. So just use that, and this is left over, and I hope you liked it, and I'm looking forward to your comments, and thanks for watching and joining me today, and hope to see you soon again.